What's up? Grandma here, and today I do what more grandmas should do, and I played some Elden Ring. I got a lot of good feedback from the story about Moog, so I thought I'd tell another tale. Today, I have a story for you about Fia, the Deathbed Companion. And hey, if you like this content and you want to hear more of it, leave me a like, subscribe, and share. I'd love to hear from you. Beneath the golden boughs of the Erdtree, where light bathed the world in a relentless holy glow, Fia was born into a life destined to be unloved. She was not of noble lineage, nor of sacred blood, but her presence carried a weight beyond station or birthright. The Deathbed Companions were chosen by fate itself, chosen to be the comfort of warriors, to cradle the dying in their final moments, and to hold close those whom the world would soon forget. From birth, Fia bore a mark upon her skin, an omen not of corruption, but of inevitability. It was said that those born with the deathbed curse were bound to a life of mourning, their touch imbued with a warmth that eased the suffering of those on the precipice of death. Legends whispered that they were remnants of an ancient covenant, a pact made in the age before the Erdtree's dominion, when death was a natural cycle rather than blasphemy. To some, it was a cursed existence. To Fia, it was a duty and a longing both. In her arms, she offered solace, a warmth unlike any that the cold doctrines of the Golden Order could provide. She whispered not of grace, nor of the blinding light of the Erdtree, but of peace found in death, of the gentle acceptance of one's inevitable fate. And so, Fia lived in quiet exile, wandering the lands between, seeking those who would accept her embrace. Fia had many lovers, yet none truly hers. Each knight, each lord, each forgotten soul who collapsed in her arms found only the comfort of her embrace, the promise that they would not be alone when their spirits left their bodies. Some whispered to her in their final moments, voices trembling with fear and regret. Others wept, longing for the strength to stand once more. To all of them, she gave her blessing, pressing her lips to their foreheads, whispering of gentle repose. But among them, there was one whom she could not forget, Godwyn the Golden, the Prince of Death. He had once been a demigod beloved by all, his golden locks shimmery with the grace of the greater will, but he too had been cast down. His soul was stolen in an act most blasphemous, his flesh cursed to an undying slumber. His body remained beneath the Erdtree's roots, swelling with death unholy, yet his spirit wandered, lost and broken. When Fia found him, she wept. She lay beside him, her fingers tracing the withered contours of his hand, feeling the echoes of his suffering. He was neither dead nor alive. He was abandoned, shunned by the order that had once adored him, forsaken by the grace he had served, and in his eternal sleep, he longed for something he could no longer grasp, a true death. Fia too longed for it, to grant him peace, to fulfill the promise of her calling, and so she whispered to him, not as a companion to the dying, but as a lover to the lost. "Rest, my prince," she said. "I will bear your curse. I will see you to the end." It was in that moment Fia made her choice. She would defy the Golden Order. She would embrace death not as an end, but as a beginning. If the Order denied the fallen their peace, then she would give it to them herself. She would become the mother to those who live in death, and she would see that Godwyn's legacy did not wither beneath the Erdtree's cruel shadow. She sought knowledge in the hidden places of the world, in the whispers of the dead and the secrets buried beneath ancient catacombs. She learned of the rune of death, the shattered truth that Marika had stolen away. She traced the marks of those who bore it, knights cast from their graves, spirits lingering beyond their time, the lifeless who refused to be forgotten. The Order called them abominations. Fia called them children. She gathered them, the lost and the forsaken, the souls denied a rightful end. She bore their suffering as her own, weaving herself into the fabric of death itself. And in her final act of defiance, she sought an audience with the one being who could grant her wish, the Tarnished. The Tarnished found her in the deepest chamber of the deep root depths, where the roots of the Erdtree coiled like grasping hands trying to reclaim what had been stolen. She lay beside Godwyn's decayed form, her arms wrapped around his lifeless body, her eyes filled with resolve. She had awaited this moment, knowing that the Tarnished was the key to her purpose. She asked for their strength, not to fight, not to conquer, but to bear witness, to take the curse of those who live in death and weave it into the fabric of the world, to bring about an age where death was no longer shackled, where souls could rest without the tyranny of the Erdtree. And when the Tarnished made their choice, when they granted her the power she sought, Fia knew peace at last. She lay down beside Godwyn, her eyes heavy with the weight of eternity. The rune of the death prince burned in her grasp, a promise made real. As her breath slowed, as her body faded into the embrace of the abyss, she whispered one final blessing. Sleep well, my prince. In that moment, death was not an end. It was love. It was freedom. It was eternity.